Alright, what's up guys? Zero here, and I know in my last video I said we'd take a look at Naru soon, but that deck got nerfed. Sugma got his draw 2 removed, and I've been too lazy to play that deck again, so you're gonna have to wait on that deck. But today we're here to take a look at the new degenerate deck on the block, being Fenrir. I know we literally looked at this like 2 weeks ago, click, but this time around there's a completely different build. The majority of the cards are still the same thing, but this is, if you've read the title of the video, a 0 damage Fenrir list, so I'll explain how the deck works in the gameplay, but and while we're talking about some of the cards. But without further ado, let's take a look at the list. So if you see here, the majority of the cards are the same as the old list. It's just the way the deck plays is very different. So starter is still the old one. This one's still pretty good for early game where you like rest something, you can give something power to let it swing solo. So still play this guy. He could dig you one card deeper into your stack to hit your stack if you need to. So it's here. Anti-Charge is pretty cool too, so we play this guy. Pretty good. Probably your best starter. Grade 1's already looks very whack. I'll start off the first thing. The very noticeable thing is 3 PGs. So this is the new PG. I think pretty sure in the last video we didn't have any of the old stuff. So yeah, so this is the new PG. The actual skill is irrelevant, realistically speaking, but the reason why we play this PG over whatever PG you're playing before is because this one has Revelation, and having Revelation means you can slam out on board and dig one card deeper into your stack, and put stuff you see off the top 2 into your soul when you're on Fenrir. So no reason not to play the Revelation PG, and the reason we're only playing 3 PGs is because we need to make space for this card, because for the Awanami is their name, because Gelja and the Stride Fodder are just both too important to not play at 4, in my opinion. A lot of this deck has been fine-tuned by me and Click's playtesting and just trying things out and talking to each other a lot. So a lot of this is definitely a collaborative effort between me and Click as well. So and a lot of stuff I've learned is also from him. So this list, a lot of it is like fine-tuned by him, because he I definitely just gave him my account to playtest with, because he wanted to try this. So yeah, so these ratios, a lot of these ratios were definitely play tested by him, but I definitely think that the ratios he ended up with were the correct ones. So yeah, so Awanami is played at 2 because this card is very integral to the combo that the deck is trying to do. So you really need 1 in your soul to do your combo, which I'll get to. Which I guess I'll explain when we get to the gameplay. So her skills, she has Revelation, GB1. When she is soul blasted, you can soul charge 1, and then I think if it was by a Revelation skill, you soul charge another one. Oh, if I said soul blaster, I meant soul charge. So the second soul charge doesn't matter at all, because the thing you're soul blasting out with is Fenrir, and he doesn't have Revelation. Basically, what the general gist of the combos, which I think you do see in the gameplay, is when you on one of your soul blasts, specifically the second one onwards with Medusa with your Taros. Basically, what this card does is it lets you reuse Taros in your deck, putting them after Soul Blast. It lets you Soul Blast them out and then put them back into your soul to use again. So this card with its loop can turn 2 Taros into 4 Taros. So if you know how important Taro is to the deck, you'll know how important this card is, because this deck really needs to be able to abuse Taro at least 4 times. So because of that, we cut a PG to make space for an extra copy of this card. And then afterwards we have Gelja. If it's in soul, if you put it back into the bottom of your deck, soul charge 2. You stand something that's rested and gives them 5k, and the soul charge part is tied to having a grade 3 or higher Fenrir Van. So yeah, very important, because this card lets you just turbo through your deck really fast. So really good card there. And then last off, Stride Fodder switches for Fenrir. Stride Fodder, very important considering we're playing a bunch of zeros in the deck too. So yeah. So that's it for grade 1s. Grade 2s, only real thing that changed here are the ratios. So still 4 Grappas. Gets you through your deck as well as shuffles your deck when it hits the triggers, because by shuffling the deck, it puts the Geljas at the bottom, shuffled somewhere that's not to the bottom, so you can potentially soul charge them back in to reuse them. So Grappa, very important for that. 3 Kotonahas, I think is her name. But she has Revelation, and she's just a scaler. She gets really big, very important for that, because like I said, this deck is lethaling from 0, so you do need all your columns to be really fat, and this card gets really fat, so very important for that. Next off, Medusa. This is the main card that enables all of this bullshit. Her skill is, on hit to Van, Soul Blast 3, bind a card from their hand, not once per turn, and if you can put the pieces together, Taro restands this card. and this card just keeps sniping cards out of their hand until they lose all the cards, and then they die from 0. So yeah. If you can picture it together, if you don't know how this already works, you can see what this deck is trying to do. So the general gist of the combo: Medusa loops. You loop Taros with Medusas, you use the Awanami to put the Taros back, and you just keep looping this from 0 to 5. That rips 5 cards out of their hand, meaning they will die because they have no cards in their hand, and your clones are really fat, and they'll hit for the 6 damage because they have no cards to guard with. So, yeah, so Medusa is the main culprit to this degeneracy. And then next off, we're still playing 3 Gajols. Revelation on play, your Vanguard grade 3 or higher Fenrir. CB1, get 5k, and then on attack, Soul Blast, redraw 1. This card is still needed because this combo is very dependent on the opponent not having double intercept. But Gajol lets you do the combo past double intercept. So Gajol is important for that reason alone, and his Revelation, that's always nice. So yeah, so that's it for grade 2s. And then grade 3s or triggers, 2 Dream Dragons to refresh the deck. This card is still pretty important because sometimes you still need to just refill your deck and just try again on the next turn in case you just can't hit stack, or you just can't kill. So Dream Dragon important for that. Taro, the main degenerate, another very degenerate card. So Soul, when Soul Blasted, put it back to the bottom of the deck. Stand rear. You just keep using this to loop your Medusas. For Fenrir, your main ride, he gets you your stuff. He's a Fenrir name, and yeah. And this combo actually it does actually need specifically Fenrir Van or Fenrir's strike bonus skill to actually do it, because the part of the skill, the Awanami, you actually call out the Awanami with the Fenrir strike bonus, the part where he calls the card when it's Soul Blasted. So yeah, so you do actually, unlike the other, like the regular Fenrir deck, you can technically get away with any Vanguard as long as you can hit stack and make your shit really big. Fenrir, this build specifically needs to be on Fenrir because you actually need the strike bonus skill to actually get the combo off. So still very important. So no reason not to play him at 4, and you play him on heal because you need space for other stuff. You don't want space for heal cards and stuff. So yeah. And finally, we're playing 3 Azusas, I think is her name, on draw, because again, since it's scaling from 0, you don't really need the extra aggro triggers to push. Azusa as a draw is very good because gets you your pieces. Kind of a double-edged sword too, because it can also draw you into shit you don't want, being Geljas and Taros and stuff like that. But I think draws are very nice because draws let you get cards in hand. So yeah, 3 of her, and if you don't, in her skill, she is just more copies of the Kotonohara. She's just a really big scaler. So yeah. And finally, the G zone. I'm gonna be real. Harmonics sometimes comes up because you need to ping yourself your opponent to deny you damage for whatever reason. These other cards I cannot say come up very often. I don't think I've ever gone to this. Excuse me. The Dione sometimes comes up. You just need a Sandbagger turn. You just Soul Blast 3. You on hit Soul Blast 3, grab a card, and then Dream Dagger refresh your deck. So she comes up sometimes. So it's nice to have her as a one of. I don't think I've ever gone into Vanguard, but he's there in case you want to go into it. And same with the what's her name? Ishtar. She is an alternate way to end the game if your opponent survives. But realistically speaking, in this deck, if you don't kill on that one kill return from 0, you probably lose the game. So she's a lot better in the other list, the other Fenrir deck, which actually just goes with OTK, and then you have the Dream Dragon to deck refresh. You actually have a follow for the next turn, so she's a lot better in that deck. But in this list specifically, the only cards that realistically matter are the Harmonics, the 1 Dione, and then the 3 Fenrirs. So yeah, so Fenrir is the main important strat for the deck. Flip anything. Might as well read G-Flip because you need to flip copy itself for all its skills. You turn your Revelation skill into check top 2, put 1 to Soul, put 1 top or bottom, and then Soul Blast 3, CB1. And your G-Zone face up Fenrir. Draw 1, give something +5, give itself and something +5, and then Soul Charge another. Soul Charge 1 optional, and then GB3. If you have Fenrir Heart, crit +1. So yeah, so yeah, I think it's a lot better. So the list is basically the same thing as the old list, but I think it's a lot better to show you guys what this deck is actually trying to do than me trying to explain it. So that's it for the list, and so we'll go on to some games now, and so I guess I'll see you guys there. So here we are with some games. So the first game is against Aquaforce, but realistically speaking, the matchup should not matter because you're doing the same thing against every single deck. So first game against Aquaforce, we go first. This deck actually does not mind going first that much because if you go first, you're not doing anything anyways. You're not even hitting them. So going first gives you the option to re-ride same grade. So for example, if you open a Taro, if you go first, you can re-ride it. You can ride the Taro. You can rewrite Taro. You can ride Awanami into Gelja. You can rewrite 2 Geljas. You can rewrite Grappas. So going first actually is not that bad with this deck, funnily enough. So yeah. So this game I go first, and here I probably do actually rewrite. So yeah. So I go from Gelja to Awanami, and I just don't give damage because this is the whole gimmick of the deck. You're trying to kill from 0. And the reason why 0 is actually the optimal number to kill from is because the more damage you give them, the less hits you have with Medusa, meaning the less snipes you get out of hand. So if you're killing from 0, it is a straight up 5. It is straight up 5 rips out of hand, as opposed to for every 1 damage you add, there's 1 less card taken out of their hand. So that's why you'd want to go from 0, and obviously 0 damage means no CB from the worker to try to kill you, because this deck is at the end of the day still very, very fragile because of the fact that you're not playing heal guards and you're only playing 3 PGs in your deck, so you need to hold intercepts in your hand as pieces for your kill turn. So yeah, it's like very, very fragile, and because of that, giving 0 damage is optimal, obviously, because less CB means less ways for them to kill you. So here I ride up to the Grappa, and then next turn is where all the fun begins. So he rides Stavas, good for him. He gets a stride too, very nice for him. Don't really care. So we'll just skip through all this. So he does this cool little thing. He swaps, he hits, he has a bunch of triggers. Lose a Taro, which really sucks, but this deck realistically only needs 2 Taros to actually do full combo. As you see here, I'm out 2 Taros. Because of the little cool interaction with Awanami, 2 Taros is actually more than enough to do full combo. Obviously, the more Taros you have in your soul, the more lethal your kill turn is. So you still want to aim to try to get 3 to 4 Taros into your soul, but 2 is enough to do combo. So you feel a little less bad and you see your Taros and your damage drain in your hand. So yeah. I don't know, I almost clicked no there for by accident, but you definitely want to click just on Fenrir. So here, slam down. These are the 2 main important parts in your combo. The Medusa, and then Medusa plus Scalar, the Joel. I actually think I messed up the order here a bit. I think I probably should have just used shotgun, because the order, you realize that you always want to shotgun your Geljas first because you want them in your deck, and then afterwards you want to shuffle it, because when you actually draw with the Fenrir, you want to make sure you're 1, not drawing Taros, and 2, drawing into revelation cards to keep your dig through your deck going. So realistically, you should always go Gelja first. Just shotgun all of them. Don't care what you soul charge. Just want to go through your deck as fast as possible, and then afterwards you want to use Grappas to try to shuffle your deck to get those Geljas back into your soul afterwards. So here I reveal a PG. Realistically, it didn't matter that it was a PG as long as it was something with revelation, and the PG has revelation, so that's why I want to draw into that. So you can see here the Grappa hit triggers and shuffle the deck. So this Grappa actually has a chance of getting Geljas into soul, and as you see there, it got a Gelja into soul. So 2 Geljas into soul, so even better. I don't do anything there. And then, like I said before, in the deck profile part, you need to save the stride bonus skill to actually during the battle phase. So you can't actually, unlike the other list, you can't actually use the stride bonus to get you a piece onto the board that you need. You actually need to hard draw everything. I think that's like the one thing that's a little iffy with this deck. You actually need to hard draw all your pieces. You can't just soul charge them and call them back out. So here's a little scuffed because I kind of don't want to slam anything else down here. I just do this to try to get through the deck, I guess. Yeah, give power to the Medusa. Actually, no. I think here I was doing this because I wanted to make my Vanguard bigger, I think. That's why I did it like that. But here I think I just kind of decided that it wasn't worth it, so I just go for this. Try to find the Gelja back in the soul. So I think 2 revelation cards actually does it. Or I guess I use that here anyways. Yeah, but yeah. A lot of the times the column that isn't hitting is actually the van column, funnily enough, because your van in this combo is usually the smallest lane. I think here I was figuring out the best way to scale like every column as well as I could. And here I think I just figured that I'll use Fenrir one more time, use the Gelja that I knew I'd get into deck at the bottom, and then just go from there. So here is the beginning of the combo. So first, Medusa will hit, because Medusa is huge. She should, on average, be like 49 to 50k like this. So here you still has 3. You use Taro. to restand. So this part's very simple because it's you Soul Blast on first part. You always Soul Blast the Taro plus 2 whatever cards you don't want, and then on the second one onwards, in a situation like this where I only have 2 Taros, your second Soul Blast has to be Taro plus Awanami and something else. The Awanami part does not work, only works on second Taro onwards, so you cannot use the Awanami on the first one, but you can use her on second, third, fourth, second, third, or fourth Taro. So yeah, so here I Soul Blast the Taro and the Awanami, rip another card out of his hand. The order here also has to be Taro first to get it back into the deck, restand, and then has to be Fenrir Strike bonus next because you need to use the Revelation skill before the Soul Charge skill. So call that as a booster for the Medusa. Revelation, and then the next part after calling is the Revelation. So you see this is what you will always see. It will always be your 1 blank plus a Taro. So here you will Soul Charge your Taro and then put the blank to the bottom of the deck. So now your deck is your deck order is now Taro plus a blank, right? Taro plus blank, and then and then Awanami's skill of when she Soul Blasted out, which was off of the Medusa. Since she was Soul Blasted out, she can still use her Soul skill when she was using Soul Charge 1. So you Soul Charge 1, which is another Taro because you set it up like that, and then now you have 2 more Taros and Souls which you can use again. So here you go Medusa, and you just rinse and repeat. So here, obviously here you can't rinse and repeat with Awanami's Fenrir Strike bonus once per turn. So you Taro again, and then you Taro again, or then you Medusa Taro again, drip another card out of their hand. And then here, even though there's nothing left, I actually don't know why I swung in this order. I think I was scared of a defensive. And I was right, because he flipped a heal, so even though I swung this order, this is actually still hitting, unboosted, and this rips another card out of his hand, so it wasn't the worst thing in the world, I guess. I actually don't know why I swung that order. I probably should just Taro again, but I think I was scared of a defensive, that's why I did like that. So as you can see here, Van is actually the smallest column here, so one of the trigger power actually goes to Van here, so both rears still hit. 1 power goes to the van, and 1 power goes to one of the other rears. So probably the power you give to is usually the biggest one. So here in this case with Medusa, so 51, 52, and pretty sure he died here. So yeah. So even though my opponent flipped a 5th damage heal, which might have saved them, Medusa ripping 5 cards out of hand does not help with his situation of guarding. So that there was wasn't even a high roll. That there was like the bare minimum because I had 2 Taros out and only 2 Taros in soul. I did that with 2 Taros, so expect that on average to be your the floor of the deck. Obviously, more Taros means more stands, so yeah. So that there was like the bare minimum of what the deck could do. So that is its first game, and the second game we'll just skip to the part where I do the cool thing. So here, I think I went first again. Did I go first or I go second? I went second this time. So if you go second, you just hit their face. See 1 Taro out there, another Taro out in hand. So I'm once again doing this with 2 Taros instead of the full 3 to 4. So yeah, not a whole lot to talk about because I basically explained it all the first time. The lines for your combos are literally always the same thing. Every single time you do this combo, the only like different thing is how you get to your stack of 1 card. So yeah. But I also forgot to mention, unlike with Gajol, with this combo, you thin your deck to 1 card, not 2, because you don't draw off of anything. So yeah. And if you were wondering if the Awanami stuff worked with doing a Gajol line, it does not. The only card that the Awanami line works with is specifically Medusa. So just keep that in mind. Don't try to do this with Gajol. You will deck yourself out. Or rather, just Gajol. You will deck yourself out if you try that. So here, I'm just trying to get to my stack as efficiently as I can. This is one of the other issues with the deck sometimes, is that you just brick on cards that don't have Revelation, so you just can't dig through your deck. And a lot of times you really do want to confirm the card you draw with the Fenrir before you actually use the skill, because you don't want to draw into stuff you don't need. Most specifically, Taros is the main one. Awanami, if you don't already have one in Soul, and And Gouges, you want to use those from your soul. So yeah. So here, yada yada. We just go to the battle phase. No, not a whole lot more. I got to all the Gouges. Columns are a little smaller than last time, but that is whatever because the Medusa is still 49, and that's the important thing. Medusa is very big. Fenrir is even smaller this time. Fenrir is only 41 with the booster this time, so even smaller than last time. But here we will go through the combo once again in case you missed it the first time. So first time you use Taro, you Soul Blast 3 whatever. Taro goes back. You do your thing. Don't do anything here. Taro again. This time you Soul Blast Taro with an Awanami for your second one, so you can reuse all your Taros. So here, Taro, whatever, and then Awanami. First thing you use is Taro to get back into the deck. Next thing you use is Fenrir's Stride bonus. Yeah, don't swipe up on that. Fenrir's Stride bonus to call it somewhere. Usually just wherever it needs the 7k booster. And not the biggest difference here. In this case specifically, it didn't matter where I put it, but usually you want to set this up as a 7k booster. So there. So the order, the order there is Taro skill, Fenrir Stride skill, and then once you call it, you use Revelation. You put the Taro in Soul, the blank to the bottom, and then you Soul Charge one with the Awanami, getting the second Taro in Soul, and you reset like that. So here, we do it again. And this time, he actually has no cards in his hand, so he's actually just dead here. Yeah, this time my opponent actually just has 0 in hand. So this is guaranteed lethal. 45 hit solo. And even if he healed, we still beat over at least 1 heal. So yeah. So that's it for this deck. There's not a whole lot for me to go about. A lot of it is just learning the deck along the way. I didn't know how to play this deck for a while. It legit just took trial. I think it legit just takes trial and error. There's actually one more line that I did get to show off with this deck, which is if you have 3 Taros and 2 Awanamis, which obviously that does not happen very often because Taros fly everywhere but into your soul a lot of the time, and Awanami, you're only playing 2, so you need to get both into your soul. There's actually a line where if you have 3 plus Taros and 2 Awanamis, you can actually loop 3 Taros. So doesn't happen very often, but the line goes something like I remember correctly, it goes so first Taro, second just Taro, first Soul Blast just Taro, second Soul Blast just Taro, and then the third Soul Blast you Soul Blast out Taro plus 2 Awanamis, and then so right now, so that your deck would be blank Taro, and then you just do the same thing as you did before. So you go Fenrir Stride bonus, call out 1 Awanami, Revelation, put 1 Taro to Soul, put the Gelja to the whatever your blank is to the bottom. And then since you have 2 Awanami procs, because you Soul Blasted 2 of them out, they each Soul Charge 1 more, meaning you put Taro back in the Soul. So doing like this gets you reuse 3 Taros in one instance. Obviously it doesn't happen very often because again you're only playing 2 Awanamis and you're playing and you need 3 plus Taros in Soul. So that line does not happen very often, but when it does, you are probably not losing that game. So yeah, yeah, that's the last thing I wanted to mention. That's it for this deck profile. Tell me, you guys, what you think of this degenerate ass deck down below in the comments, and I will see you guys next time. Like and subscribe, all the good stuff. Peace out.